spectrum consulting. And my mission is to help the youth with different tools and resources to improve their mental, emotional, and spiritual abilities within their social circles. So we'll be emphasizing that a little bit today. Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?
So I've been a social worker for 10 years. I've been in the speaking room probably maybe a year now. So this is one of the bigger ones I've had. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be scared if I wasn't. Yeah.
I think when we're nervous, though, we aim to perfection, so it usually works out.
Yeah.
I'm nervous before every single shoot. And people don't even believe me. I'm nervous all the time.
All right.
But I'm aiming to be like the best turnout.
Right. Exactly.
So my camera do record for 34 minutes.
Okay.
Any professional camera record for 34 minutes and then it'll stop automatically.
Okay.
So if I like wave my hand a little bit, let you know, like, give yourself a minute to kind of like this moment of.
By the time we hit 30, they should be about to get into the activity like right then.
You just gonna start it back up.
Okay. Because they'll have 5 minutes. I'm going to have a song to play. I need to turn my music off. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Good morning and good day, everyone, and welcome to the Black Literacy Matter Conference. I am Shannon Stocks, and today I will have a breakout session named Beyond the Labels, and we will explore how eco-maps connect literacy, health, and community. Come join in. How are we doing this morning?
Great.
All right, and congratulations. Okay, because you chose the right place to come on up in here this morning to Beyond the Labels, all right? Because we will be exploring how eco-maps connects literacy, health, and community, okay? All right, and I will say this. I am so honored to be here with you all this morning because the Black Literacy Matters Conference isn't just a conference for me. It's a truth. It's a journey, because throughout my 20 years of school, I've also had faced different literacy challenges as well. So I'm very grateful to be here. And about me, I am your presenter this morning. My name is Shannon Stocks, and I am the CEO of Stocks Special Consulting, LLC. And my mission is to help the youth, whether it's their emotional needs, their mental needs, and their spiritual needs as well. And I provide different tools and resources that can assist them. All right, so let's get into it. Learning how to describe how limited reading skills can impact lifelong health outcomes, because it's not just when you're a child. This spans throughout your lifespan. We're going to talk about the health outcomes, economic mobility, and community stability. We're also going to explore how literacy is a social determinant. We're also going to be utilizing an eco-map. Raise your hands of anyone that knows what an eco-map is. Okay, so you're going to be my helpers over there at the table. All right. And then we're going to recognize the urgency of early intervention, how to be proactive. All right. So we're going to start with y'all meeting Shanny Pooh, my 6-year-old me. Well, I like to say this is where my literacy story started. So while I was in school, I had some challenges. I had some reading challenges. I had some speaking challenges. I was the only child, so I was growing up in an older family, old and Southern family in Suffolk, Virginia. So I didn't have a lot of children that I interacted with. So by the time I hit kindergarten, I was frightened and scared. I didn't talk to anybody. Who are these little people that I've never met in my life? So at that point, I was afraid. I wasn't really reading that well. There was a meeting that was called. And in that meeting, it was a school panel with my mom and my grandmother. Now, I like to describe my mom. Show of hands. Anybody seen The Cosby Show? You know Claire Huxtable? That's my mama. Okay, so you have Claire Huxtable in this meeting, and then show of hands, y'all seen Blackish? You seen the grandmother in Blackish? Jennifer Lewis, that's my grandmother. So picture in the 90s where the family and the schools may not always got along with the trust aspect. I can only speak for Suffolk. It was a lot of turmoil. So you got Claire, you got Jennifer Lewis. My Jennifer Lewis leans in, and she says, Shannon ain't got no problem talking at home. She talk all day and night if you let her. Her reading, she reads slow, but let me tell you why. She wants to comprehend what she's reading. So sometimes she may go back a word or two, but she wants to understand. She's not going to be placed in no special education. My grandma was pissed because there was no meetings before this. It was just this one meeting called in. There was no notes from home or anything. So what they decided to do was place me in a reading tutoring class. 3 times a week, my grandmother, mother, and my aunt will go over with me every single night reading, writing, making sure that I was being cohesive in school and at home. So over that time period, guess what? By the time I hit the 2nd grade, I was on grade level reading. I got so good, I started reading books that I enjoyed and cared about. By the time I hit 4th grade, it was a point where I won an essay for best writing. And as I continued, I began to have a joy for English literature. I soared throughout middle school, high school, and I ended up going to Tidewater Community College. That's where I earned my liberal arts degree. I went to Old Dominion. That's where I earned my communications degree. And from there, I came here to Norfolk State, behold the green and gold, and I earned my master's in social work. So now I advocate for the youth. Not only is the mental, emotional, the spiritual support is so important, also their literacy and making sure that not only they feel supported, but their parents do too, that the schools can start building that gap that's desperately needed. So I invite you today to think about the little ones in your life, your students, your babies, your inner you, your inner child as we go throughout this presentation. What does that say? Less than 1 in 5. There was a study done in 2024 from the National Center of Education Statistics that talked about Black children in the 4th grade are not, at reading level. They're not at reading level. So they discussed that 17% of African American 4th graders scored at or above the proficient level in reading, meaning less than 1 in 5. 1 in 5 children are reading at grade level. In contrast of the overall proficiency of all students in their same age group, 30 to 33%. What does that mean? Now, I truly appreciate what Dr. Washington was discussing yesterday as the keynote and discussed how the language and being able to integrate that is so important. I want to name her an honorary social worker, okay? Because to be able to see all those lenses are so important. And sometimes we don't take into account what's going on at home and how are they doing at home. So I want you to think about that. How do we get to less than 1 in 5? What's going on with the parents? Who's not talking, right? So if our kids are less than 1 in 5, and the statistics say that 1 in 5 U.S. adults struggle with basic reading, what does that mean? Anybody? Yeah, we are in a crisis. Anybody else? Right. So when we talk about that relationship between the teachers and the parents, what does that realistic communication look like? Is there trust that's built? Is there any rapport? Is anybody thinking of one or the other? What does the community truly look like realistically? You really may not know what's going on with mom. You don't know her background. You don't know the life she lived. You don't really know that. So is there a way we can start thinking collaborative? Okay. Is there a way we can start saying, okay, I know that my student, she's having some challenges, he's having some challenges, but I see the growth that could be done. How do I connect with that parent? What kind of conversation needs to be had? And sometimes parents don't want you out in their business either. Why you asking me all those questions? So it's important to build that rapport early, have that trust factor early, because now we're going to look into, well, what does that mean for their health? What is health literacy? I want to see a show of hands of anyone who's ever been to a primary care doctor, a hospital, any healthcare realm where you went and you're like, I don't know what the doctor said. I don't know what they're talking about. I know that I came here for one reason. I'm leaving with another. What's going on? Hey, come on in. Yeah, that's an issue. And that shouldn't be the case. So it is very key that our children know how to read and their parents are doing what they can to increase their reading and their own skills. Because health literacy is a person's ability to research, comprehend, evaluate, and use health information and services to make informed decisions about health care. Now, we talk about how it's important to know how to read the documents that you're getting. It's important to have informed consent. Because sometimes I've seen my patients, I work at a hospital too. I'm a medical social worker. I work in a hospital in Hampton. The population in Norfolk, Hampton, and Newport News are like cousins. They experience some of the similar barriers of social determinants within the area. You know why Norfolk is a little bit better for resources than Hampton, Newport News? Part of it. What else? Why is the resources better in Norfolk than it is Newport News and Hampton right now? Well, when COVID happened, it wiped a whole community of resources. So even though the homeless here in Norfolk are at a disadvantage just as well as the homelessness in Newport News and Hampton, Norfolk has Union Mission, which is pivotal for this community. They have somewhere to go 365 days a year, whether it's cold or warm outside. So when we talk about health outcomes, it's really hard in different areas when you have your resources wiped out. Talk about harder to access and healthcare safety. A lot of our clients in Newport News come to the hospital as their first source. Not a primary care doctor. Half of them don't have one, and they may not follow up with one either. When we talk about worst chronic disease and management prevention, what does that look like? Can anybody chime in on that? What does that look like? Does that look like, whether it's somebody that you may know, they may have a chronic disease and they may not always do the right thing. They may know, I ain't supposed to have these cakes and this greasy burger, but I'm gonna eat it today. They may not always take their medication when they're supposed to, but I'm gonna take it tomorrow. So it's being able to manage your worst chronic symptoms and to have that preventative care. Are you following up with your doctors? Are you going to your appointments correctly? And then we are at a higher risk of hospitalizations. There are patients that I see every single week because, again, our hospital is the key pivotal point. They come to us. So a lot of times with the hospitalizations, they may know the type of disease they may have. I may have Mrs. Smith. Yeah, I just can't leave certain foods alone. I understand it's going to cause me congestive heart failure. I do want to be here for my grandkids. So what does that look like? Do you need more education? Because I just can't believe you're being non-compliant just to be non-compliant when you're telling me your goal is to be here for your grandkids. So we look at that. And then we also look at the economic mobility. Now, I'm not going to go into all of that, but every single thing trickles down together. It trickles down to how our social economic communities, when they're lower, you do have an at-risk population for lower earnings. And a lot of times, our population may not be insured. They may be underinsured. They may be seeking or waiting, whether it's Medicaid or other options out there. You do, again, have limited sources to training and advancements. A lot of times, again, with COVID, it wiped out those resources. So some people are now struggling to make a better means for training. And then also with the funding. Sometimes they don't really have the funding for it. So you see how all that trickles down. And then you see the intergenerational cycles as well, how that has impacted their grandma, their mom. Now you have the parent and now you have the child. So you see how all that trickles down together. And then we talk about a little bit with the community stability. If I'm working 2 jobs and I got my baby, you may not catch me at the civil lead meeting next week. You may not. I may not have time for that. I may have to figure out how I can make time for that. So you're looking at how all of these things are interconnected together. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother was born in 1909. She was a strong black lady. I have no one to compare because she was her own feisty thing. So throughout my journey of knowing her, I never seen her outside walking. She was bedbound. And a core memory I have was when I was 9 years old. I went to her house with my grandmother, my mom, and my aunt. We come into her apartment where she lives with my great aunt. You better not run inside. You better walk inside. You walk inside. She's in the room. I walk to her. She gives me a hug. Hey, baby, what's going on? All right, go sit down in that living room now. So you go and sit in the living room with all the plastic on the furniture because it's plastic everywhere. I'm playing with the angel figures that I know I'm not supposed to play with, only mentally, but in my mind I'm playing. I hear a scream. My grandmother never screams. Oh my God, Ruth, what happened? Why does mom look like this? I'm like, what is happening? I go into the room. Now, my grandmother was a nurse, so she would always come in and check on her mom, right? She would do foot checks and leg checks because she had diabetes and she had blood pressure. One day she rolls up the bedding from her feet to her thighs. They were black, brown, and green. Her legs from her feet to her thighs. My great-grandmother is sobbing, and I've never seen her cry before. My grandmother is furious because how could you let her legs turn from a beautiful pecan brown to black, green, and blue? We immediately went to the hospital from there. We get to the hospital. I'm sitting there 9 years old. I don't know what's going on. My grandmother's pissed. The doctor comes out, and he's like, Miss Wright, we are so sorry. We had to rush your mother in surgery, and we had to amputate both of her legs because it was gangrene. And I don't know if everyone's familiar with gangrene, but usually when your blood flows through your veins and arteries, as long as that circulation is good, you're fine. But when it starts to tissue harden, that circulation decreases, and your tissue slowly dissipate, and they slowly start to die. So that's what happens to our legs. They started to dissipate. He said if you didn't bring her here within the night, she could have been gone within a week. My grandmother was furious, okay? Furious. She turned to my aunt and she said, what happened, Ruth? How did you not tell me? Why wouldn't you say anything? You saw her legs turning from black and blue. What happened? I don't know. I fed her. What happened with the progression of it? I used rubbing alcohol and witch haven. What more you want from me? She don't really like taking her medications. I'm not going to force her. She loves the food she loves. I'm not changing that. After that, my great-grandmother was in recovery. She came home. She got services, but we had a family meeting. And we ensured that somebody would be there for her when she had her doctor's appointment so they can understand what's happening. We ensured that my great aunt had more support in education, health literacy education, because again, she was the primary caregiver for her, and how this happened was very unfortunate. But I want to invite you all to think about the people in your lives that you love, whether they deal with chronic illness or not. Even yourselves. Have everybody been to the physical today or this week with your primary care doctor this year? Think about those things because you never know how your life will turn out, and early prevention is the best. All right, so we're going to get into what's an eco map? How does that connect with what's going on right now with literacy? Now, I want to hear from you. You say you know what an eco map is. Tell me about it.
So usually, like, you'll have, like, your name, like, in a center.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have things that's, like, on the outside of the circle that's associated with you. So it might be family, personal, health, environment, social, like, those specific aspects.
Absolutely. That is absolutely correct. So an eco map is a visual representation of how individuals and families interact with the systems, relationship, and environment that impacts their daily lives. So just as she said, you have a circle. It can be an individual or it can be a family. You can put whoever you like that's impacting your daily lives. So for this example, it can be the mama, it can be if they're dealing with legal issues, it can be church, school. And with this one, this is a very basic example. And if you look in the pamphlets too, you'll be able to see that as well. So we're gonna test your knowledge on what an eco map is and how we're gonna do it. So just keep in mind, In the middle, it is an individual or family, never both at the same time, one or the other. And then the circles around can look different. It depends on how many systems are affecting that individual or family at the same time. Okay. So I put my great-grandmother eco-map in because I wanted you all to see how the different systems impacted her and what a more complex eco-map could look like. Now, you may see different ones, but this is the one that we're using, which you see the solid line. That's just a positive relationship. It doesn't mean that they're giving or taking or receiving. It's just an even flow. So you see with my great-grandmother, she had social services connected to her. There wasn't a type of relationship where you're giving and taking. It's just services and things being provided. You'll also notice the distance between her friends and her church. She loved church and she loved her friends, but a lot of her friends passed away. She was bedbound, so she couldn't really go to church anymore, but that still affected her mentally and emotionally. You'll see the equal. You'll see her daughters, Ruth and Margaret, how they have the equal. They had a give and take reciprocity type relationship. So you'll see that flow of energy. You'll also see the flow of energy from the grandchildren, how they were able to come in and assist as needed as well. And then if you look at the one-way relationships, you'll see her neighbors were more of a one-way because at that time she wasn't really able to do anything at one point, and they were just coming in saying, hey, how Miss Margaret doing? We brought you some things, we brought you some food. So it just talks about the flow. Now, if you see the stressful energy, you'll see that with her daughter Ruth. Even though she was the primary caregiver, they had some stressful events happen. So we put the stress markers there. It's stress with the hospital and the primary care doctor because grandma didn't like going. And a lot of times, again, she was born in 1909, so she saw the Tuskegee syphilis epidemic that happened. So a lot of times she didn't trust them. However, it was necessary for certain things that she needed to get done. So even though she didn't like it, she did give consent to go when she needed to. All right, it's time for your case study. All right. Who would like to read Meet Chantel? Go ahead.
Chantel is a 34-year-old single mother of two who recently moved back in with her mother after her children's father recently passed in a work accident. She has uncontrolled diabetes and high blood pressure, has not seen her primary care provider in over 2 years, has been in and out of the hospital several times in the past 6 months. Chantel reads at a 5th grade level and feels ashamed of her reading difficulties, often hiding them when completing medical, legal, and employment forms. She works full-time at a local grocery store. While her children have insurance, she is awaiting her own coverage, struggles to understand prescription instructions, and does not have an advance directive or power of attorney. Despite significant health, financial, or legal stressors, Chantel hopes to earn her GED and eventually become a teacher, highlighting how literacy gaps can shape health outcomes, economic mobility, and family stability across generations.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So what does that mean for Chantel? I also put in the handout a little bit more information about Chantel because guess what? It's time for y'all to get to work, okay? So at each end of the table, you'll see a poster board. You're to unravel that. In each bucket, you will see where there are popsicle sticks. On those popsicle sticks, you'll see where it says speaker 1, speaker 2, writer, supporter. Pull your destiny. Now, for the ones that have 2 at the table, make sure you have a speaker and a writer. You're going to have about 5 minutes. When the song ends, we are coming right back. Yeah, gotcha. The stories are also in your packets too. It's okay, I'm going to put it back up though. Uh-oh. Cheating. Y'all hear the music okay? Okay. There is an example of an eco map in your handout if you need to remember it. Good.
Hey, record. It's going to record.
Appreciate y'all.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
Good. Good morning. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hey, good morning. Nice to meet you too. All right. So the session starts at 10:25. I saved that table back there as a reserve for people that really don't want to be in camera like that. So, and I have the release if you want to look at it for them to sign or not. Because I do our best, but your head, the back of your head, may be in it.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what
I'm
I
gonna try to so they're gonna be speaking up here. Somebody gonna be speaking up here.
Yeah, I'll be up here speaking.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna mic you up.
So this whole classroom is yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I may be walking a little bit, especially during the activity time.
Okay. So I probably best need to be like somewhere like that.
You can sit back there.
Okay, because you might come back this way too.
I'm gonna just probably keep it right here.
If you
Not-
keep it right there, then I know for sure I can keep you in that frame. I mean, I can
Okay.
do it this way too, but it'll just be tight. Yeah.
I'm trying to travel right now because world crazy. So, so I kept it more local and I found it and I was like, ooh, I got to see how we can get up in here. 2 minutes. One minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils, pens, markers down. Markers down. Don't be cheating now. Markers down. Come on back. 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 Pens, markers down. All right. How we do? How y'all doing? It's okay. It's okay. Cause we're gonna go around the room. I want to see what y'all got. All right. We're gonna start with that table back there. Who's the speaker? 1 or 2? Okay. Whoever goes, go. Speaker 1 or 2. Go ahead. So now we're gonna be presenting your eco maps. Hold it up. Tell us about it. Tell us the choices that you made and why.
Chantel, 34-year-old single mother of 2, recently moved back in with mother. So we put mom is right now. Situation was cool with mom.
Yep.
Father just recently passed, so we consider that to be stressful. Uncontrolled diabetes, so that's her health.
Yeah.
Stressful. As a reads at a 5th grade level. Stressful. Education is stressful. Her job is pretty much equal.
Okay.
And that's as far as we got.
All right. That's good. Give it up. Give it up. Great job, y'all. All right. Coming back here. What y'all got? Hey, speaker 1, speaker 2.
And both.
All right.
So building upon, I'm just going to add to, is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
We noticed that the transportation was a huge stressor for sure in her life that impacted other areas, a place where she also found joy but also needed support. So it impacted her ability to get her kids programming at school, impacted her ability to get to her own doctor's appointment but also to get to work. And so while family itself is generally a positive space for her, not having transportation to support her kids at school is pretty hard. While work was an asset for her, not having transportation to get there was also hard for her too. So
yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you. Give it up for the table. All right. Middle table, what you got for me?
All right. So, Jade and I, we said that literacy is a stress factor because of like her reading level and his access. We also said that church is a distance because she attends occasionally, not as often as she would like to, we're assuming. We also said that another stress factor are the legal, financial, and transportation challenges and hardships that she's facing. We said that a positive is that she does have goals of wanting to earn her GED and become a teacher.
Yeah.
And then we also said that another stress factor is her health, as many people mentioned. And then another positive is that despite her mom being on dialysis, we said that she does have family time where she does spend time with her daughters and her mom.
Great job. Great job, y'all. All right. Table up here. What you got?
Let's see, we were talking a lot about the distances that she has with different parts of her life. So we got distances with healthcare and her primary care physician, with her employers, and also church and education. As previously mentioned, I think the big thing for us was like that there were outside available community health resources, but that she wasn't really engaging with those at all. So we don't have a relationship there, even though they're out there somewhere. So yeah, that's super.
Yes. Great job. Great job. All right. Our table.
I don't have much to add to what
It's all right.
but we identified the similar stressors that people mentioned with regard to legal system and navigating that, as well as her literacy rates in education and the hospital system, the distance. We primarily identified as being the lack of attendance with her, the lack of seeing her PCP and church that she goes to occasionally, and some of those equal relationships with her children and her mother, and kind of the giving relationship with her job or the place she works.
Great job, everybody. All right. All right. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. Y'all did a great job. All right. So that was the Chantel's Ecomac activity. And a lot of us look the same. Look how great y'all did. And a lot of y'all capture even things that I didn't even put up here. So kudos to y'all for paying attention. Okay. But I just wanted you guys to have a real life aspect because there are a lot of Chantels going on right now. There's a lot of Chantels that are facing these challenging situations that we have no idea what's going on with Chantel. Chantel may be doing her best, but she was late to a parent meeting. And we like, Dad, girl, you know what time it was. Why you late? She got all this going on with her. So being able to be mindful, sometimes life is going to happen. And being able to have that grace and compassion. As therapists, we talk about unconditional regard, making sure that we don't pass judgment on our clients because they tell us whatever they're telling us, right? But we also have those moments where we're like, you know what? I'm sitting there with you in this. I can imagine you're going through some hardships and things. So being able to have that support is vital. Hey. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I personally realized my mother-in-law passed away.
Sorry.
From cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and she couldn't read or write.
Mm.
And I remember, being a young mother. She didn't raise my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being a young mother myself and always in and out of the prison system. And I remember always kind of judging her.
Mm.
And kind of like, how could you not have stopped drugs for the sake of your son?
Mm-hmm.
How could you not, again, how did all of these things, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and what I actually realized yesterday was the fact that she could never read or write was probably that soul thing,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that really just transformed her 7 years of life.
Yeah.
And so, even just thinking about this, and when you said right now the judgment piece, I just kind of wanted to offer up that not only is this people that we work with every day and whatever our capacities are, but it's also people in our families and in our homes. And, I just kind of offer that as maybe a reminder to somebody in the room that it's sometimes closer to us than we realize.
Absolutely. Thank you for that addition because that is very true. And you never know what's going on right beside you. So having that open mind is and even your energy, keep in mind your energy also tells it too before you open your mouth. So yes, thank you for your addition. So yeah. So I challenge you and I invite you to keep Chantel in mind when you're talking to whoever you're talking to. It can be your family. It can be your friends. It can be the people you work with, like she said. It can be your clients, your students. You never know who's Chantel out there and what she's going through or what he's going through. All right. We pretty much did a discussion.
I do have one thing to add.
Yeah.
Going back to the math, yes, we interact with Chantel, but we do have all of these different parts. So when we're showing up to Chantel, we may have a stressful something that we dealt with at home. As well, that could come out where we're being short or snippy because we're passionate about the students, but that's our mind. We may have had, an argument with our child going out the door.
Exactly.
All is interconnected.
Exactly, it is. And if we can keep that in mind and just understand, hey, we all got things going on. Sometimes it's not realistic to leave it at the door. We can try our best, but it may not be realistic. So how could we realistically be able to show up for ourselves and for the people that we interact with and serve? So that's a great point. Oh.
For myself, because I enjoy journaling in the morning. I would love to look at different aspects that are currently happening.
Continue to do that. I challenge y'all to do that. Okay. I saw her hand and I said, I got you. Go ahead.
I would say, just based on everything that people have said, that's why it's just very important that, community.
Yeah.
Healthy community, safe community. We, at school, sometimes it's just strictly just the building.
Right.
But it's as charter schools are being built in certain communities or other schools are opening up, we really have to interact with the community, and community is just really missing. That's
it is.
Like, no matter if you are down here in Virginia or if you're in Brooklyn like me, like, community is just vital. And when it comes to literacy, people really will take advantage of you in some way. And that's what I tell my students, like, you have to ask questions. And oftentimes, like, a lot of us, you know, Black folk, people of color, we have pride. So it's like, I don't want to be seen as dumb.
Yep.
So I'm not going to ask the question. But when I go to the doctor, I ask every question. No
That's
matter
the key.
how many degrees or how old I am at my age. I'm going to say, like, okay, what's this for? I need to know, what is this? And I think it's just critical that, like, we're teaching our students to ask questions.
Yes.
Even if we're not, because a lot of times, like, things are being taught to students, like, just accept it for how it is. I'm teaching you what to think.
Right.
I really need students to understand how to think.
Right.
So I think those two things are very important.
Thank you. Yes, we're going to expand upon that a little bit more too. I saw your hand and I got you. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Piggyback on what she said. Years ago, I wrote an annual review for an IEP, but I wrote it out a month ahead of time, just to buy some time.
Yeah.
Because I knew the scholars, the children. So the first invitation that went out, I talked to the parent, scheduled it. She didn't show up. Okay, well, we've got time. Schedule it again. She didn't show up. I'm cool. We got time. And I really like the children as well. So I scheduled it again, and I talked to the student. I was like, so everything okay? Your mom, she coming? He looked at me and dropped his head and said, she passed away.
Oh, my gosh.
I thank God that I didn't, judge.
Yeah.
I learned a valuable lesson from that point. You just never know why. You never know why, a parent may not show up. But I scheduled it early enough so that I could buy myself some time just in case. I just learned how to do that because, parents it was middle school. Parents were not involved. So I would just schedule these meetings a month ahead of the due date to give myself some time.
That was,
if they got in judgment.
But that was also consideration for someone else's schedule and things too, because you never know what, like you said, what somebody's going through. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all. Yes, go ahead.
The respect is reciprocal.
It is.
You get respect back. And everyone knows when they have a good teacher, everyone knows when they feel loved, or that they're accepted in their environment. So it's emotional intelligence too. Adults need to have good emotional intelligence because you see people, if you don't have that, you lose your face of professionalism.
Yeah, and that's a very big point because, and we talk about for us, we are under the National Association for Social Workers. So for us, for the NSAW, we talk about, we have those ethics, right? And what is ethical practice and being ethical and having that dignity of worth for your clients, for your patients, meeting them where they're at. If you're sitting down, I'm gonna sit down with you. I may mirror your body language because I want you to know this is a safe space with me, right? So as we continue on, guess what? Chantel doing a little bit better. Doing a little bit better. Who want to read Chantel?
Chantel has recently reconnected with her primary care provider and is making an effort to better manage her health. After an appointment, she picks up several medications from the pharmacy. Later that evening at home, she looks closely at the prescription labels and realizes she does not fully understand how to take her medication. The instructions feel confusing and overwhelming, and she is unsure what medications are meant to be taken daily, which are only for certain symptoms, and how many pills are safe to take in a day. Embarrassed to call the pharmacy and afraid of asking the wrong question, Chantel decides to figure it out on her own.
How many people here ever felt that way? What you mean? I can figure this out. I'm a Google something real quick. Okay. So for Chantel, how dangerous is this though? Why?
She has uncontrolled diabetes and high blood pressure. She has a mom on dialysis. She has children.
So let's get into it. I want you all to spend 2 minutes as a group going over at each table. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about that. 2 minutes. Go through all of the questions for each tablet that she takes. Talk amongst yourselves. What does that look like? What could go wrong for her? It's also on your handout too. I want y'all to go through all the medications and just talk amongst yourselves and answer the questions. Mm-hmm. These are all her medications that she takes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But she's trying to figure out, like for each one, how do you take it correctly? So these are some of the questions she has in her mind about all 3 medications she's taking.
We help her know which one to do.
Hmm?
We're trying to figure out which one for her to do.
So you're pretty much looking at all 3 medications and you're pretty much telling her, like, figuring out with her, like, this is what you should do. This is the things that you should think about before you take your medication. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great question. All right, all right. Come on back, come on back. Come on back, come on back. Come on back, come on back. Come on back. All right, so I'm going to give y'all the choice. I want to hear from 3 tables. First come, first serve to go over this. Who choosing? Which table's going?
I'll go and we'll do medication B.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so some of the things that Jay and I brought up was just like the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Both like speaking about experience. So for example, I take medication.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned the hard way, and Jay was talking about like if you take pills too late, or just in general, you'll not think it's gonna upset your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So what time of the day should you be taking these? You can't take a pill at 10 o'clock at night if you're new to it. It's really gonna mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
We were also talking about food instructions. Are you taking these medications? You're taking the medications to help you with your health, but are you still eating crazy? You know,
Yeah.
so it's like you can't
Mm-hmm.
take a pill for blood pressure and diabetes, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like a Philly cheesesteak or a pizza.
That part.
You know,
Uh-huh.
counterproductive.
Yeah.
And then we were just talking about the idea of like the 12 hours apart. So like, what's the best time?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like with her, she would have to just get a lot of like education around like just better eating habits.
Yep.
I don't really call it a diet; I call it a lifestyle change.
Exactly.
She would have to know like what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes we say diabetes and blood pressure runs in our family. It's generational. You're not born to get diabetes or blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that is generational is the eating habit.
There you go.
Or the lack of like exercise or the lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what affects us getting these things passed on to us.
All right. Great job, middle table. Y'all going? All right. Which one?
We'll take medication A.
Okay. Talk to me.
So for us, we were, just talking about like as needed for what. So obviously, she's not understanding like what the medicine is supposed to be addressing. Like,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We also talked about should dosage strength be considered, and that kind of correlated down to what should Chantel do if symptoms do not improve.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just kind of talking like, how does she even know like if it's not improving, if it has anything to do with how she defines need?
Yes.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to take this
Mm-hmm.
because they said I need to take it
Mm-hmm.
versus I need to take it because I'm feeling this way or that way.
Yeah.
And then the other piece of, if the symptoms are improving or not, acknowledging that maybe she's not improving because it's not the right medication for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so again, does the need, is it need to be 2 tablets versus thinking, the potential is, oh, it's not working, so I
Mm-hmm.
need to take more. She
Mm-hmm.
could potentially be exposing herself, to too much of the drug and overdosing or something like that on something. So just,
Exactly.
again, understanding need versus even understanding how do you define improvement versus a counter reaction, and side effects to medication.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And that is a very, very important fact because we have a lot of people that come in the hospital because they accidentally overdose on Tylenol. They took too many pills within the 24-hour period. So it's very important. Thank you for touching in on that. It's very important that we pay attention and that we ask these questions. Have a questioning attitude when you're going into these places. Who?
That's important too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point in time, a few years ago, my husband wasn't feeling well, and we went to the emergency room to have him checked out.
Mm-hmm.
And and he was telling, he's very good about taking, his prescription medication, and he's a federal correctional officer,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor was asking, what kind of work do you do, blah blah blah. And we're answering all the questions, we're giving all the information that we felt like was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But the question, the way in which he was asking the questions were not questions, they were accusations. And so, questions about his medication was such that they were implying that, like, do you have a drug issue? Are you sure, that you took your medication as prescribed? And, I have the privilege of presenting as non-Black often, and I kind of had to step in, like, I don't know what you're implying, ladies, but, like, your tone, your approach, and whatever with us right now is, like, not okay.
Right.
Either you course correct or you bring us another doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, it's not just necessarily asking questions, it's how you're asking questions.
Exactly. You got to know how to talk to people. Don't talk at me, talk to me. Okay? Thank you. All right. Okay.
I know we're talking about like literacy
Mm-hmm.
in this real world example, but I think often we forget about the applied numeracy skills that go hand in hand with something like medication management. These examples are like real life and also slightly triggering because I help my mom as a caretaker.
Okay.
Processing through. And so I just think about like the number of skills that are at play.
Yeah.
Normal things like taking medication every single day. And how much support is required when those skills are not in place.
It's not easy. I took care of my father, so I get it.
Organizational skills too, and planning ahead. So a pill you have to take twice a day, 3 times a day. They have like the organizers organize their medicine, but if I don't eat twice a day, I only eat once a day.
Right.
I have to change my schedule. So I'm just thinking of planning ahead and organizing. Those are also skills.
Absolutely. All right. Y'all had some great answers. Does anyone take a jab at medication C? Or are we good? All right. I'm going to take that as agreement. How does it feel? Y'all came in on that song. Anyone want to tell me a reflection quickly? How did it feel going through the process with Chantel? Real quick, 1 minute at most. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. 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 You should. Mm-hmm. Because it will bring, and that's the thing I really enjoy about this tool, because it brings a lot of things that's in the back of our minds to the forefront. We're like, woo, I got a lot going on. I got a lot of different things happening. Do I need to slow it down a little bit, or is there changes I can make? Is there places where I can delegate certain responsibilities to? So I do invite you, thank you for saying that, to do an eco-map for yourself, for your children, for your friends, because then you start to see your inner circles and your inner systems and how they're impacting you. Is these relationship reciprocity going on? Is it give and take? Because relationships are like an emotional piggy bank. There is some give and take to keep it balanced and healthy. Okay? Yeah.
My daughter's a high school counselor, and I work within education systems, and so I was actually thinking, like, imagine what our education systems would look like inside of classrooms if teachers did this for every student in their classroom.
That part.
And was truly able to assess,
Mm-hmm.
that ecosystem, like that's a whole child.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a teacher actually looking at the ecosystem of every individual child and think about how that could transform their educational experience.
Right.
Makes you think about building relationships.
Exactly my point. I was about to come on in there with it. Yes. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Having to do it themselves instead of doing it for them.
That builds rapport and trust.
So you learn your students.
Right. And it's a visual aid. So you're like, and you can do it with them. It's fun. And they get to learn about themselves and the systems that impact them, right? All right. We're winding on down to the closing. So I'm not going to read all this. However, there was some research, if you would like to follow, that talked about how early prevention in infancy, when you're working with newborns, it was a study with African American families, and they were looking at the fact of the impact when you're working with the families from lower economical standings, but at the same time, if you proactively go in with reading from newborn infancy all the way up to 6 months, how you can see the improvement throughout the span, right? Throughout their lifelong span. So with them, I'm really curious to see if they're going to continue the research to see, even though they went up from newborn to 6 months, how does that translate throughout elementary school, middle school, high school? Where are these babies going to be at? Yeah.
There's this book, it's called Reading for Our Lives by Maya Payne Smart.
Okay.
Exactly about that. And one thing that I thought about was there's this hospital, I believe, in Richmond, where parents were bringing their children, but the doctors noticed that as they followed the children, that they were doing poorly in school. So because they were spending so much time at the doctor's office just sitting, waiting on their appointments, they weren't being read to. So the community started loading these doctor's offices up with books.
Yep.
And so while they were sitting there waiting to be seen, parents would read books, other people would read books to the children, and then they noticed a different trajectory, those children.
It makes a difference because you start building that, what's it called? It's like a muscle. Like when you go to the gym and the first day, like, oh, I can't lift that. But then you keep going and your muscle memory starts to build. So when you're putting those things and you're actually tapping into their subconsciousness and they're like, I see a book over there. I may not read it today. They come back, I think I'm going to pick it up. So you start building those little breadcrumbs. You're going to start seeing a change in behavior, right? So then we touched on this already. This research was done in 2023, and it just talked about for this particular group of research, it was African Americans in rural cities. And it talked about how they saw a big change when an individual has social support. We talk about community. It is vital when it comes to overcoming low health literacy. You can see a big difference. You can tell someone, hey, this is a brochure, read about it. And then you also have a family member, did you read that brochure that doctor gave you? I read it. It said you're not supposed to do X, Y, and Z. That person may just needed that support. They needed that person to hold them accountable to their own health, right? So you could take a picture of that and research. It was a good article. So we're going to talk a little bit about prevention strategies before we close out. And when we look at the hospital standpoint, these are some techniques that we've been working on in the hospital that I'm at. It's really beautiful to see because they also recognize, again, we had high readmission rates. We had high turnover rates of patients coming back and saying, I went home, but I'm coming back today because I didn't understand what happened. Or I didn't understand why my blood pressure shot back up, or I'm afraid I'm coming back. So now we're implementing teach-back methods. They've already started doing those methods before, but I think they're doing more of an intentional piece to the teach-backs because now before you leave, they do give you your discharge paperwork, but the nurses, as long as you have a good nurse, you hold her accountable to telling you what this mean, what that mean, what this mean. I always tell my patients, if you have a question, ask it. They'll tell me things, and I said, did you tell the doctor that? No, I forgot. I'm going to page the doctor for you. Please tell him that when he come back or when she come back. So that way you know what's going on before you leave that hospital or that office. So we do that teach back. I tell you something, tell me what you learned, right? Normalizing questions, having a questioning attitude. Do not let the white coat scare you or fool you. If you feel like you have people in your life that are afraid to ask the doctor question, they are just like you and me. We put our pants on it the same way. So having a questioning attitude and validating concerns is very important. And I work with a team of nurses. I do discharge planning as a medical social worker. So with us, the social workers and the nurses, we have this relationship where we remind them, remember to validate your patient's concerns. They're not just telling you that just to tell you. Ask them questions. What did you mean when you said that you only take your medicine on a Tuesday when it's raining outside? Is that real, or what's happening? What's going on? I'm confused. So validating their concerns, that sounds really hard. I couldn't imagine going through those things. Using visual aids like the eco map. So they do have pictures now within the discharge books, and some of them where it shows the pictures of the medications. And then it talks about how to simplify health systems and forms. So that's a little bit about the healthcare, and then keeping in mind with the education, teaching your children how to read early. It is, again, we had studies that show it matters. If we're working on that, some people put headphones in their womb and have them listen to classical music and books too. So the earlier the better. Using cultural relevant texts and affirm student identities with the teaching foundational skills is so important. I love when Dr. Washington said that about the language. And I love seeing the TikTok videos of them having like the latest song, but they put the ABCs 1, 2, 3s in it. Okay, that matters. Those children feel validated and seen, right? Supporting literacy beyond the classroom by engaging families and community partners. We're pretty much doing that right now. We're learning together. And then identifying reading challenges early and treating literacy as a lifelong skill. So a lot of times we're still working on that trust within the school system when we're talking about testing, or we think your child may need this testing or not. Make sure that you're getting your child to a primary care doctor first, because what the first conversation should be is a medical rule out. Making sure that you're taking them to the doctor, making sure you're taking them to the eye doctor too, because sometimes it could be their vision may be impaired that's causing issues. Get a medical evaluation first before you do a mental evaluation, okay? That should always be the first. And then we got some reflections, which we already did because we're going to finish on time. And then there's some references if you want to take a picture of the research throughout the presentation today. And it's also in your handouts as well. And then please do a session survey. I have a QR code for our digital lovers, and I also have a paper copy if you, like me, kind of old school. Please complete it and fold it in and put it in the box. Much, much appreciated. Oh, well, look, it's 11:25, y'all. We did good. All right, and then as always, let's stay together. I can be followed on Facebook, Instagram, The Soul Work Therapist, and LinkedIn, Shannon Stocks. I hope y'all have an amazing conference and have a great day. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming. And I also have something for y'all. If y'all wanted a copy of Chantel's Eco Map, I have that for you too. I was like, I ain't gonna have y'all cheating on this. Y'all want a copy?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. All right. Huh? I can't hear you. Yes. Seriously. Because you start to see a difference. I do this with my patients, and they're like, Shannon, I didn't know I had all that going on behind the scenes. I'm like, yeah, you don't talk out loud, but it's going on. No problem. You're welcome, y'all. I'm glad y'all were able to receive it, and it made sense. Yes, just put it right back in that box. Yep. You put your name up there, because you're giving us consent to record. Did y'all want one? A Chantel Eco Map? Okay. Okay. Huh? No. If you want to keep it, you can.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I'm sorry.
Huh? Oh, it's okay. Here's your Eco Map, honey. Okay. Eco Map. You're welcome. I think I got maybe one more up there. I'm gonna see. I'm checking. No problem. You're welcome. Hold on one sec. Hey y'all. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Huh? Not yet. It'll be out in the summertime. Okay. But if you put your information, because the survey digitally, if you put your information up there, I can send it to you, you know, the link when it's up. Or if you do the paper version, I'm going to put it also in my Excel so I can send it. So yeah, if you leave the information, you will get an email from me. Hey, y'all. You want a Chantel?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I only got 2 more of this left. She claimed one of them. I don't know who else wanted the other one. First come, first serve. Okay. You got one? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, have a good one.
Oh, you too. Thank you for coming, y'all. I got one more if you want it. It's up here.